Good afternoon and welcome to the Metropol Business Briefs this hour. My name is Ingrid Nantege. Now, the government is warning that at least 2 million Kenyans are faced with starvation and need urgent relief food. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says plans are underway to release 2 billion shillings under the National Drought Emergency Fund to support the ongoing interventions targeting 2.14 million people in the arid and semi-arid region. Unlike previously where affected people received relief food, the government has resorted to cash transfers, with already the set to disburse over £500 million shillings in cash transfers.
We are here to release another 558 million shillings to the same 4 counties that are also hardest hit by the ongoing drought. And those are the counties of Turkana, Marsabit, Wajir, and Mandera. Each household will be receiving 5,400 shillings. We are expanding this hunger safety net program to the counties of Isiolo and Samburu, who are here with us today.
Equity Bank is passionate and committed to transforming lives and livelihoods, and our work in the Hunger Safety Net program is just an extension of that aspiration. We have implemented the program since the year 2009, and we are very excited to be part of the witnesses of the transformative outcomes that the Hunger Safety Net program has brought among the beneficiaries, the non-recipients, and the communities in which the program operates.
The Kenya Revenue Authority saw a rebound in tax collection in the month of July, with a 29% improvement to 121.8 billion shillings. It's an improved collection since the onset of the new financial year, compared to 94.5 billion that was recorded during the same period last year. New figures from the National Treasury indicate a gradual economic recovery after the country plunged into a crisis last year with massive layoffs and companies shutting down due to the coronavirus pandemic. The first 7 months of this year have seen an improved tax collection, whereas the government started easing COVID-19 containment measures, including lifting of lockdowns. KRA's revenue target for the current financial year is 1.71 trillion shillings from 1.579 trillion for the previous financial year. SACCOs recorded a 13.41% increase in deposits to 431.5 billion shillings. An annual supervision report by the SACCO Societies Regulatory Authority notes that the SACCOs recorded an aggregate asset base of 627.68 billion shillings. Furthermore, the SACCOs reported a loan portfolio of 474.8 billion, representing a yearly increase of 13.16%. SASRA also noted that employers last year held on to more than 1 billion shillings that they had deducted from their workers, failing to remit the money to the various employee SACCOs in 2020. This increased the amount of non-remitted funds to 5 billion as of September 2020, up from 3.87 billion the previous year. Much of the money that companies failed to remit was meant for loan repayments, with some of the loans being non-performing in the last year. According to SASRA, public universities and other institutions of higher learning are the biggest culprits. National carrier Kenya Airways, through its subsidiary Fahari Aviation, is set to introduce flying taxis in Nairobi. The deal aims to design a network for the safe operation of electric vertical aircraft. Brazilian aircraft manufacturer Embraer SA announced its flying taxi unit, EVE, had signed an agreement with Fahari Aviation to develop operating models in its key markets. A statement from Embraer indicated that traveling from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to the Nairobi CBD could reduce travel time from over an hour to just 6 minutes. The agreement further aims to introduce zero-emission electric planes called EVA in the transport sector. A Kenyan sports brand, Enda, based in Kilifi County, has announced a 10-fold increase in sales compared to the previous year. According to the factory officials, the company is creating job opportunities for residents of Kilifi, with the company currently having 42 employees in partnership with Umoja Rubber Products Limited, The company prides in producing between 150 and 300 pairs of shoes per day.
In the past, been shoemakers of high performance running footwear, we of course have some challenges in that there are some of these materials that we are not able to locally source, and so we have to source them from different parts of the world in order to compete in the high performance shoe market. Making these shoes here in Kenya, we are able to create sources of employment for very many people who are making our shoes currently, and of course sourcing some of these materials from Kenya. We believe that this also benefits suppliers and producers of these materials in Kenya.
The American government has granted Laikipia County 130 million shillings for Nanyuki bulk water supply project. The project involves construction of a reservoir across Leaky Central River, expansion of the treatment plant, construction of additional storage tanks, and water distribution network. It also includes bulk water supply to upcoming market centers and bulk raw water for smallholder irrigation schemes targeting organized farmer groups. It will ensure that Nawasco has enough water reserves to meet demands from consumers within Nanyuki and its environments. Once complete, Nawasco will be able to expand its coverage to underserved areas, enhance access to clean, affordable, and sustainable water supply even during dry periods, and control flooding and related erosion affecting downstream users. Now, the government of Haiti has declared a state of emergency after a massive earthquake hit the country on Saturday, leaving nearly 1,300 people dead and thousands others injured. Rescue operations are underway with fears that the death toll is likely to rise. The Saturday 7.2 magnitude quake damaged every kind of infrastructure, including schools, hospitals, churches, and prisons. Several organizations and countries are already sending relief aid to Haiti. The Dominican Republic and Mexico sent desperately needed food and medicines by air and across Haiti's land border. Colombia sent search and rescue personnel, while the U.S. dispatched vital supplies and deployed a 65-person urban search and rescue team with specialized equipment. The tragedy comes 11 years after another major earthquake, which killed more than 200,000 people. Zambia's President Edgar Lungu has conceded after losing a presidential election to opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema. President Lungu says following election defeat, he'll comply with the results to ensure a peaceful transition. The Election Commission said Hichilema got over 2.8 million votes against Lungu slightly more than 1.8 million. That would make the third time that power has shifted peacefully from a ruling party to the opposition since the Southern African country's independence from Britain in 1964. 59-year-old Hichilema, a former CEO at an accounting firm, now faces the task of trying to revive Zambia's economy. His win reverses a narrow loss in the 2016 presidential election against Lungu. The Taliban has declared the war in Afghanistan over after its fighters swept into the capital Kabul and President Ashraf Ghani fled the country. The streets of Kabul are quiet today, according to the international media, but there were scenes of chaos and panic at the international airport as hundreds of Afghans desperate to leave the country flooded the tarmac. The United States and other Western nations are also scrambling to evacuate their diplomats and citizens. Meanwhile, all commercial flights out of Kabul's main airport have been cancelled. The U.S. Embassy in Afghanistan warned people against traveling to the Kabul airport unless they receive explicit instructions to do so. According to CNN, a defense official said Sunday that 6,000 U.S. troops earmarked for security detail in Kabul have been tasked with securing the entire perimeter of the airport. Finally, Oil prices have fallen more than 1%, dropping for a third session after official data showed that refining output and economic activity slowed in China, an indicator that fresh COVID-19 outbreaks are crimping the world's largest economy. Brent crude was down 90 cents at $69.69 a barrel, and U.S. oil fell by 97 cents to $67.47 a barrel. According to Reuters, factory output and retail sales growth slowed sharply in July in China, missing expectations as fresh outbreaks of COVID-19 and flooding disrupted business activity. China's crude oil processing last month also fell to the lowest on a daily basis since May 2020 as independent refiners cut production amid tighter quotas, elevated inventories, and falling profits. That's all the business briefs we had for you this hour. Enjoy the rest of your viewing right here on Metropol TV.